Welcome to the Health Leader Podcast, the podcast for bodywork practitioners seeking inspiration and knowledge. Hi, I'm Elicia Crook, and together with James Crook and Christine Knox, we'll explore the art, science, and stories behind healing touch. Join us as we uncover the diverse modalities, techniques, and innovations shaping the future of bodywork. Get ready to expand your skills, connect with a vibrant community, and unlock the hidden gems of this transformative practice. This is the Health Leader Co., where we illuminate the power of touch and embark on a journey of discovery and growth. Hello and welcome to the Health Leader Co podcast. Today I am joined by our amazing co-hosts, James Crook and Christine Knox.
Hey, great to be here, Leash.
Hi, great to be here, Elicia.
If you have been listening along for a while, you might notice that there's now a new voice in the team, and we're going to explore a little bit about why and how and who throughout this season. Today specifically, we're going to have a look at some of the questions that our clients have asked us in our 4-day client June retreat. So we are on the Gold Coast in Coolangatta, and we are running a retreat for our clients. We run 4 of these a year, and we put the material together and we ask them a bunch of questions. We've had people come in from all over the world. We've had one of our team members is all the way from Albuquerque in the USA. So we are together, which is kind of rare for us because we are a geographically diverse team, because we're running a retreat together, and we thought, hey, how fun would it be to launch the Health Leader Co podcast together so you can see and hear all of us in one place.
So one of the things you might have noticed, and certainly our clients have, is that we have this new team member, Christine, on the podcast here. And it's because we're actually forming a whole new business and a whole new brand, the three of us together. So if you have been following this podcast for a while, you'll recognise Leash and myself have been running Massage Champions for a fair while together, doing this podcast. And we've been doing business coaching specifically for massage and wellness, and making sure those people handle their business really well. And Christine is a colleague of ours. We've known her for a while, and she does hands-on modality training for similar people. And so we've shared a few clients over the years and definitely have very similar values, looking at helping the community, making sure that we're raising the standard of massage and modalities around Australia and the world. And so it just kind of worked out that we've ended up sharing a whole lot of that stuff and deciding that it would work a whole lot better if we just actually formed a business together. And that's the Health Leader Co. We're kind of launching it right now at the moment. This new podcast season is part of the exciting launch of the new brand, the new name. And yeah, really want to just say welcome and thank you for having us join with you, and welcome to join with us, Christine. Really, really great to have you here. We're doing something so amazing and big together.
So I have been on the Massage Champions podcast a couple of times, I think. I am Christine Knox. I historically have been a client of James and Elicia for a number of years. Really? A long time, actually.
5 years, I think.
No, it's
was it longer?
More.
Okay. Christine was one of our original clients in our normal program. She was like one of the first people that I remember calling, and she said yes. And I was like, oh, okay. Hey, James, there's the thing now. Someone said yes. We're going to do the thing.
That's fun. It was fun. So I guess it's been a bit of a journey from that initial working with you as a client, receiving business coaching. And through that coaching, I created and developed some training programs for massage therapists, which was my intention was to run a massage school. And now I have one that's an online one, and joined with James and Elicia together to create the Health Leader Co., so that we can do business and modality training for body workers, which is really exciting.
So exciting.
And so far, we're all absolutely loving it. Is that
Yeah, it's absolutely fair to say.
An exciting and fun journey.
And that specific podcast episode we're going to do is the journey of what it's taken. What you will learn and what you might know about us is that we have really great ideas. We like to take action on them and implement them instantly.
Yeah.
This
And some of them turn out to be not so good.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. And some of them turn out to be really quite
That's
good,
right.
you know, most of the time, which is why we work really well together. However, this process, because we're mindful of joining businesses being so, being really intentional about the process, because it can go wrong very bad, and as business coaches, we've seen that. So it's actually been a 2-year journey to get here. So what you guys are about to see is the fruit and the harvest. But what we're going to share in one of our podcast episodes is actually the foundations that have gone into the partnership, the discovery, the learning, the setting up, the intentions, the boundaries and the legal things and all those sorts of things. But this podcast today is really just an opportunity for you guys to get to know the three of us, to hear a little bit about our stories. And we're going to share a bit about our stories through the Ask Me Anything questions that our clients have asked in the room. Some of these questions, we're quite sure who asked them. Some of them are a little bit more left field. There's some funny ones in here. There's some really helpful ones in here. So we're just going to read them out and then each have a go at probably answering them.
So to set the scene a little bit, we run a retreat with our clients 4 times a year. People come from all over the country, all over the world. They attend online as well as in person. We don't do this every time. In fact, I think this is the first time I've ever just said, hey, literally anyone ask us anything. It's an anonymous box. They pop it in. And some of the questions are really cool. So we're just going to share the questions with you, answer them as we go. And I haven't even read all of these. So
it's going to be a mixed bag.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Really fun. All right, the first question is, what quote resonates with you most in life?
Oh,
I would have to say, for me, and this is, I feel a little bit like it's a bit cliche, and yet it probably resonates with me the most. And I've got it in, I think it's A1 size in my office, and I also massage in my office from time to time. And it's the Man in the Arena quote. We are all massive Brene Brown fans. And so I when I'm massaging, you know, my hands are working and my brain is not, it's just letting my hands do the thing. I read it and I'm like, I just love the bit where it's like, when with their face is marred with blood and sweat, like it's those people that are stepping into the arena that know the challenges of hard life and know the challenges and are willing to give it a damn good crack. That's my version of it. And it reminds me when things are struggling, when I want to have this whole partnership thing sorted, or I've got a great idea and I want to implement it now, it reminds me that it's actually not about taking the easy path, and that the stuff that we really want to do that really matters, often you've got to do the hard stuff first. Yeah. And it reminds me that it's okay to sit in that, and I don't have to go ahead to the end point. I can enjoy the journey. So yeah, I just love it. I think it's inspiration.
Yeah, cool. I love that. That was the same quote that first came to mind for me as well. I'm sure if I sat here, I could think of a different one, but that's like the first thing that pops to mind. Oh,
I love the Henry Ford one. Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. I love that a lot. I also like the one, I can't remember who says it though, so it's like about we're not just working with people who have a problem. We're not just working with the problem, we're working with people who have a problem. Yeah. So
in terms of bodywork.
In terms of bodywork. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So remember there's a person underneath the condition. I love that.
That's beautiful.
In terms of training and coaching, that's relevant too, right? We're not just working with their problems, we're working with the people.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's beautiful. If you had your time over, what would you remove from your clinic space and what would you add in / couldn't do without now?
Well, I'm not a practitioner, have never run a clinic space, so I'll leave this to the ladies.
It's kind of funny because I was very intentional, mostly with my clinic spaces. Like I did unusual things, like I would have a feng shui consultant come in and feng shui my workspace and things like that. So it was very deliberate in order to get the results I wanted. So I can actually say, hand on heart, there was nothing in my clinic space that I would have changed because I deliberately set out from the beginning to have it as energetically what I wanted. It was like, oh yeah, do this for this outcome and, for good luck and health and prosperity and all these things. You're going to put this particular rock here or vase that's red over there in this corner and that corner. So yeah. I always did that.
Did you do that right from the very first, or did you learn to do that over time?
When I moved, I'm from Scotland, just in case you didn't pick that one up yet. And my very first clinic space that I went to, it was a little bit more ad hoc, that's true. And then there was one that I kept driving past, and it was in a business centre in the tiny little village that I lived in. And every time I drove past it, I went, I'd really like to work from that space. It was a Victorian schoolhouse, and it had been converted into a business centre. And every time I drove past, I was like, I think I'd like to work from there. I think I'd like to take all of these clinics that I had going on and take all the clients and put them in one place, because I could walk to that business centre. It was close to my children's school. It just ticked a lot of boxes for me. And every time I drove past, I think I will work there one time. I think I will work there. And within maybe 6 months, a room came up. I called. I got the exact room I wanted. It was suite number 8, which is the Chinese number of healing. And it was like, boom, perfect. And then I just moved everybody there, had my feng shui person come in, feng shui the room for me. So that's what I did.
Perfect.
I know.
Yeah, sounds good. How about you, Alicia?
That's such a good story. If I had my time, what would I remove? I feel like I would remove below the line behaviour, like that, or unresourceful. That's probably where I would go, because I was running. We've been talking about our 6 human needs that Tony Robbins talks about throughout this week. And I looked down, we talk about resourceful and unresourceful ways to get our needs met. And I know that for a long time in my clinic, I was getting my needs met unresourcefully. Wasn't intentional with a lot of things. Certainly wanted to help people, but would do that at all costs, at the cost of my own health, at the cost of my own finances, like just at the cost of lots of things. So if I had my time over, that's what I'd remove. What would I not do without now? 2 things. One is a height adjustable table, because I remember getting one and feeling like, oh my gosh, I made it because this is amazing. Table goes up, table goes down. And the second thing is now is my hot stones. Christine has made me a junkie that I'm like, I love them. And I love that I can utilize them, and I love how much my clients love them, and they're so easy for me and for my hands, and it's less energy and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I feel like now I couldn't do without my hot stones, and I can't believe that I'm saying that, because I haven't learned a new technique in like 10 years, and I'm just absolutely love it, and my clients do too. So yeah, that's what I'd say.
Yeah, cool. Love it. Great one.
Ooh, with the new rebranding, what are the intentions and how big do you want to be? Did the purpose/vision change?
Oh, that's interesting.
Such a good question. Such a good question.
You know what? It sounds like one of us wrote this question.
Yeah, but that's another matter. Just to be clear.
We didn't.
No, we did not.
This is a legit question from a client, but I guess they have seen a bit of this journey. So they're asking because they've seen some of what's been happening. Well, can I answer first? I guess
go for it.
Thinking about, we're creating this company because we saw good alignment between what we were already doing. So in terms of that, it's not really changing the intention behind any of us, but it's more like recognizing that we've had similar intentions anyway. And so as part of the rebrand, actually launching a new business name and new logos and brands and that kind of stuff, we have kind of revisited that. We actually went together, we spent some time together and did we had a coach come in and we did like a visioning exercise, and we wrote down our vision and our values, and we did a bit of that stuff together. They were all pretty aligned anyway, and we knew that, but it allowed us to just go through the process of actually putting it down for this new company. So I think that's probably been like the question to me is almost like it's sort of the reverse. We've done this because we already had similar intentions and that kind of thing. As far as how big we want to be, I don't know. Sometimes I sit around and I think about, oh my goodness, we've got such amazing opportunities to be able to reach a whole bunch of people. And the programs and courses that we deliver for people are pretty amazing. So in terms of that, I sometimes do think, oh my goodness, so many people could benefit from this. It could be huge. But even that is not really the purpose of what we're doing. If it happens along the way, I'm going to be super happy. But the intention of what we've had and we've always had is really to be able to support and integrate the massage and wellness industry a bit better, to support them to make better lives for themselves, better businesses, longevity for their practices, that kind of stuff. So I feel like the more impact we can have in all of those arenas, that's kind of why we've aligned. Does that sound right to you guys? Like I'm kind of interpreting a whole lot of conversations we've had over the last couple of years.
I think it's kind of what we have noticed, and I'll say we as in Christine and I, being very intuitive therapists. We're very intuitive and we love ourselves with a bit of variety, is the synergy between and the values. So yes, Christine was a client for a number of years, and I think we ended up seeing the best and worst of one another and weren't scared of that. Yeah. So we've seen Christine at her absolute A-game peak, and we've seen her as a client maybe not so at her A-game. And it didn't frighten us. Yeah. And over time, she saw us in a similar light, that we are, check your pulse. Yes, we're human. So the synergy that we have noticed is even things like how we both have husbands who we love and actually get along well with, who love to cook, and we don't.
Not really.
Yeah, just
really.
I love to eat. Yeah, I love to eat. It sounds like just a small thing, and yet it's not, because our relationships are both very intentional.
Yeah.
We choose to be in relationships, and we choose to make them exceptional relationships. And for some reason, that seems rare at times. And it's odd. It's like we really like we like the men that we're married to, and we actually really like men in general. Yeah.
Men and women.
Yeah. Just get along with people, really humans. And sometimes, even as much as when I've gone and stayed with Christine, the playlist in the car is really similar to my playlist. And I'm like, I don't think anyone else has a stay here or as well as me when it comes to music. And it's like, I love that. I just love the synergy, not the same people, and yet similar values, similar family values, similar in the way that we love people and see incredible characters and things that they can't always see. And we love them until they see it. And I love that. Yeah. I don't know that answers any of that question, but I just thought that was the answer.
For me, the word convergence just comes up. So that's like when we take two things and put them together so that they're more together than they were separately. And that's how big do you want to be? I want to be more than I am on my own. I want to join with someone to be, give more value, more depth, and reach more people. That's the bigness of it. It's convergence.
Yeah. So true.
Yeah. And that is the word that has resonated when you said it. That has resonated time and time and time again. And it's like I look at my quote on the wall and I think of that convergence and a massive river joining. We're also Virgin River fans, so we've been watching, and there's this massive river, and one of them all comes together, and I'm like, it's that river, wherever that is set. And she's like, I've been there. And I love it, because the vastness of the volume of water that goes through is just spectacular.
What's next?
What's one piece of wisdom or lesson you can share with us about running a business?
Ooh. Oh, boy.
Get a business coach. Oh, no.
Well, I guess as business coaches, we are always giving out random wisdom and lessons and that kind of stuff. Look, I think for me, the number one thing that I've had to learn for myself is around taking action being more important than learning what to do. So I'm very much a studier, very much I want to know what's going to happen, a planner, or I want certainty in my actions being right. A bit worried internally about making mistakes, that kind of stuff. So for me, learning to just take action and not worry too much about whether it's the right action or not. And obviously I want to line up to a certain extent that I'm doing the right thing, but not waiting until everything's perfect before I take action has been a really powerful lesson for me. And it's one that I try and encourage clients and other people in business too as well, especially if they're like me, they have a bit of that perfectionist kind of mindset, a bit of overthinking going on. Just take action. Action precedes clarity.
What about you, Christy?
There's a few things that I would probably share. I think do the scary thing. Do the scary thing and get help. I would say definitely get help, even if it's just, I just don't know how, or sometimes the how isn't really the thing you need to focus on, it's the why. And I would just say, do the scary thing, and it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to ask people, oh, how did you do this? Have you ever done that? Or why did you do this? So I'd say get really curious. Ask people who have maybe done it before, or look as if they're going to be doing that, and see, just speak to people, make networks authentically. Don't take advantage of people. Like genuinely just be curious. Find out who people are, why they're doing the things that they're doing. And that's my wisdom lessons. Yeah.
So 2 things I would say is, number 1, it's okay to not be liked, which is, if I had to tell my younger self something, that's probably what it would be. And the journey out of that is about creating boundaries and making your yes a very congruent, absolutely I'm willing to do it, or a no, I'm not. And I would have needed help and support. I did need help and support, utilising the strategies that Christine's just shared. And I think that's something that is really important, that we can have really great boundaries as business owners.
Cool.
Okay, very practical. How can you sell the benefits of buying packages? So a 10-pack, etc. What are the benefits to the client?
Packages can so this question is a little bit loaded because we have training on packages, right? So that's kind of why they're asking this stuff. So if you're listening to this, you don't even know what we're talking about. We're talking about selling like a 10-pack. So instead of a person coming in and just paying for one treatment, you say, hey, would you like to prepay for 10 of those? And they pay for 10 all at once. It could be that they then book them all in, which is absolutely amazing. But they actually don't have to in this scenario. They might just be paying for 10 and then sort of using that credit when they go. The advantage, first off, is that they're only having to pay once. So like that's an advantage, that you don't even need to build anything around that package to get that. It's like I only have to pull out my credit card once and I'm done. I don't need to worry about money from here on. I know I've got 10 of these up my sleeve and I can come in any time I want without having to worry about, like, is there money on my card this week or whatnot. So that is built into the idea of a 10-pack. There's no extra benefit you need to include there. Sometimes what we also do is we say, well, let's add on a benefit. Let's say if you buy 10 in advance, I'm going to add in an extra one for free, or the first one's going to have an extra 30 minutes added on, or some other kind of add-on, whatever it is you do in your particular practice. That can be then an incentive for people to buy the 10-pack. What we don't want to see too much is discounts. Discount can be an incentive, and often it's something people go to. It's like buy 10 and get 2 of them free, that kind of thing. You'll get a percentage discount. That's okay, but you do just need to look at, is the advantage of having that cash up front worth the discount that you're offering to you? You don't want to make the incentive so big that you're disadvantaging yourself just so people will sign up for a package. You're kind of shooting yourself in the foot, right? So yeah, that's probably how I would answer that. What about you guys?
I think we did this once because we needed cash flow, which was awesome. We had a big bill come in. I kind of freaked out. I went, I know what I can do. I can sell some packages. And we would do a package that included their first massage was upgraded to 90 minutes. We'd add in some product, and I kind of bundled all that together. I said, this is how much it would cost. What does it actually cost me? And figured out at a price. It was great, except I sold too many. So for the next 12 months, there were weeks where I was doing 5 or 6 massages a week for free, essentially, because I'd spent the money. So that was a big disadvantage. So what I normally suggest when anyone, if you're going to sell packages, just don't sell too many in at one time, because it can affect future cash flow. But the other thing I've seen done really well as somebody who experiences quite a lot of massage, because hey, I love it, is seeing these on the wall when you're getting dressed. So people have packages available and it's like 3, 6, 10, whatever it is, and you can actually just buy them and you can see how much it's going to be, exactly where it's always there when you're getting dressed. And I love that because it's like, they don't have to sell it to me. They're already selling it to me on the wall because I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, I'll have my massage. Yes, please.
So when you think about what are the benefits to the client, the benefits to the client are coming back to what we've been teaching at Business Retreat, is 6 core needs. So certainty. They know that they are fully paid. They don't have to wonder, oh, can I actually even, work in getting my massage? What's going to happen? Oh, that's all accounted for. They love the significance of walking straight into the room, onto the table, treatment done, clothes on, out they go again. And they just go, bye, see you, to the receptionist, who's just like, oh yeah, okay, we'll see you when blah, blah, blah time. And they're like, yeah. And everybody else in the waiting room's like, they didn't pay. And they're like, I'm too important to pay.
I love it.
So that's kind of like the vibe that we used to kind of play that up a little bit. Oh yeah, no. She's one of our VIPs.
Yeah, you could actually, instead of just having a package, you could call it something, call it a VIP package. Oh, you're one of our VIPs. Get the receptionist to say that as well.
Yeah.
Oh, you're one of our VIPs, loud enough for everyone in the reception to hear. That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Okay. Last question. Very important question. We're going to give a shout out to 2 people who we believe wrote this.
Well, we don't know which one it was. I don't think they wrote it.
Let's talk about favoritism. Who in this room is your favorite? We would like to say thank you to Tegan and Amy, who we're pretty sure if you didn't write this, you colluded to get somebody else to write this. So, favoritism. I'm not going to talk about a favorite person because they're all my favorites. What I'm going to say is my favorite strategy that I've noticed over 7 years of running this particular program is watching people, and we've been talking about the hero's journey, is watching people receive the call. I'm here to do amazing things and to change people's lives. And watching people walk that path, overcome obstacles and challenges, learn from it, connect with one another, and step back up is what puts people on my favorites list. You're not meant to have favorites. And yet that is actually, it's not just people who are successful and get great results and get fully booked and have 10 staff and run $1 million businesses, all of which I love. It's who they be along the way, and it's learning to love themselves through that stuff. That is my absolute favorite and will get me in the feels. And if I keep talking about this, I'm probably going to cry. That's what will do it every single time.
Oh, so good. Yeah, what Elicia said.
I love it. Well, I actually sometimes will say to people in the room, you guys are my favourites. So I think for me, who in this room is my favourite, the answer is the people who are in the room are always my favourites. And it actually sort of reflects what you're saying. Like the people who are leaning in and connecting, it's hard not to favourite them because they're the ones that from our end, I'm actually being connected with. I get to connect with you guys. And so, whether you're in the room physically or quite often I'll say this to people online because we do a lot of Zoom calls, the people who turn up regularly are the ones that we see, the ones that we feel, the ones that we have the most connection with, quite naturally the ones that we start to connect with that are our favourites in that moment anyway. And I think if you're listening to this and you're on the reverse side of that, it's easy to become a favourite. Just show up, just be in the room, ask questions. If you don't know what's going on, then put your hand up and say, I don't know what's going on. Can someone help me? And that makes you my favourite straight away. So that's cool. Be in the room, be the favourite.
And honestly, if we're going to talk favourites, she is standing in between us. She's such a favourite that she joined the company. And that's quite serious because Christine has followed that journey. We may hear some really fun stories if she allows to share over the next season about some of the hilarious and yet challenging things that she has overcome and done, and maybe tantrums that have happened in the room. I can only say that because I also resonate with tantrums and learning, again, upon another podcast episode. And the reason that she's here is because she's moved through that and stepped back up, for the purpose of contributing to this industry and having a heart to see people's lives transformed and changed as hers has been. So, that's kind of why we're here. That's really the whole purpose to why we do the podcast, why we've written books, why we've run coaching and modality training, because we just genuinely want to see people living their best life and living to their full potential and successful in every area, not just their business, but in their life and in their relationships and who they be.
So good.
So good. So thanks for listening to our first episode. We might wrap up there.
What a fantastic place to finish too.
Absolutely. We're excited to bring you lots of exciting things over this next season. You're going to hear from some really interesting people that we've got lined up to interview, people that have been in the industry a long time, people that have been in the industry for a short time, and their stories and journey of how they've come to where they are and what they've overcome to get there. We can't wait to be able to share that with you, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode.
Bye.